champion select with that new support Cly on Fnatic. Used to be Cly Bike, if you recognize the name. Used to be in Nordic Open, if you watched that. Alistair and Lulu will be the first couple of bans coming out from these teams.
So when you play against Spraddle and Element, you ban Alistair. And it's not champ you also ban, it's against Steve, that's Fiora. These are the two main picks for Elements, the two biggest comfort picks for this team. So very, very normal on blue side that you ban them. Because also on blue side, you kind of want more OPs to be open. So you get a first pick and then you get second rotation, you get two more of these super strong contested picks. Only thing you have to be aware of now is, will you get into a trade of like a Poppy for potentially a Corki? No in this case, because Fnatic are banning away Poppy, so they're basically lining up for Corki first pick in this case, or a Lucian first pick if they want that for Reckless. That's been like the two contested ones. And the reason Lucian goes up there is because Kalista gets banned, and then obviously he's the second best of the AD carries, where Corki is better in mid lane.
Of course, you hit the pool very hard, and then if you have the Corki in the mid lane, then it hits it again, and then you go on to like maybe the B tier AD carries like Caitlyn, maybe even seeing like a Jinx returning at some point, but like those are generally the champions you're looking towards.
And I really like this from Fnatic, because I think Rallis is still one of the big carries for Elements, and when they have been winning games, it was often him in these team fights together with Spraddle. So take away that best AD carry available. Rallis has played a lot of Corki, but Corki is just not as strong as Lucian right now, at least not in the early stages of the game. So that's why teams value the Lucian higher.
Well, Brom also picked up along the Corki.
Let me just jump back on that one, by the way, before anyone takes it out of context.
Sit back down.
You know, Corki is fantastic. Corki is super, super OP. I just like him more as a mid laner than as an AD carry, and that's what the teams also like more. That's why they take the Lucian. Yep. Move on.
Okay. Start cancelling out those tweets. That's not what he said. He's re-clarified. So cancel that one up, but waiting on the next two pickups. Spirit is having a wave there at the camera. You can see the new support coming in for Noxiak. It will be Cly.
Looks like Spirit a lot.
Yeah.
I don't camera
yes,
jump.
Yeah, but yeah. Flash will also be picked up for Cly Bike. Back when I used to see him in kind of the amateur circuits, Thresh was like one of the strong champions for him because he's able to make these big plays.
Yeah.
A lot like a lot of kind of semi-pro supports would do that, so they can make the big plays happen, start carrying the game. Seems like they've carried that over into the LCS and they're securing that one for him.
It's what we see so often from these solo queue supports in Europe. They all master Thresh, they have good mechanics, they can make big plays. I would say Noxiak was the same kind of player. Coming onto the stage, it's just so different though. It's so much more about your communication, your warding, and it's a very different environment for support compared to solo queue. And he probably needs a bit of time to adapt. Fnatic said the same, they're not expecting instant results from Clyde coming in, but he gets a comfort pick, and that's always great in your first game.
And additionally, he has been in teams before in semi-professional play, unlike some people who just immediately come from the challenger. So like Rudy, for example, he was never in the team, he went into that lineup. But it is a different one, they'll operate in a different way. Let's head over to Elements, who picked up Lee Sin in the jungle and Malphite as well. Interesting.
It's very interesting with Gilius and his champion pool, because he has been playing a lot of the standard picks, but then he has that pocket Lee Sin he really likes to play very often, as almost the only one right now. Because if you look at Spirit, he prefers the farm-heavy junglers. Nidalee, great early clear, can farm super, super effective very quickly. That's more a jungler for him, the carry style, where Gilius is more trying to make plays early on. He's very aggressive in the way he's playing. He's not afraid to try and insect you multiple screens away, like wall jump and flash forward and whatever.
We've seen it.
He is a playmaker. And this Pulse is an old favorite of yours, the Nautilus top lane.
Pulse hype intensifies. Yeah, so Nautilus coming back into the top lane. We've seen a lot of different tanks actually return up there. The Maokai, for example, the Nautilus now coming back in. I will go ham on this in-game, but I'm going to stop myself for now.
Let's talk about one of the reasons they picked Nautilus here. First of all, against Corki, who's relying on his Valk to be safe, he can't escape the Nautilus Q, or the Nautilus ulti. It's gonna hit him at some point, so it's very difficult for Corki then to maneuver in these fights. But the most important one is that a tank was locked in top lane in the Malphite for Steve. Nautilus is unkillable for the Malphite. And there's this great item the teams are we seeing more and more of in solo queue. The ZZ Rod Portal, which is so good against tanks, because they can't kill that portal. They can't really push it back. They can't really stop these Voidlings from keep spawning. I think we're gonna see that from Gam to top in this one. And then you have this tank versus tank matchup that's just basically decided by the Voidlings constantly pushing on towers, and it is so annoying to play against.
ZZ Rot is incredible against tank matchups and also heavy APs like Ryze, Vladimir, for example, even Maokai, because they just can't kill those minions, you build banner as well, and you actually just don't deal damage.
Yeah, that's disgusting if you hit that point. But obviously, for Fnatic, we're gonna have to see if he actually builds it. Otherwise, Nautilus top has been played quite a bit in the LPL.
Correct.
Coming up as just on a pure tank, basically up in the top lane, Iceborne Gauntlet, and then just pure tank. And it's super hard to escape when he sits up there in the top lane. And it's very good against these very squishy double AD carry compositions because Nautilus can guarantee that engage. And he's so hard to take down in the mid game because he just gets so tanky very quickly and has the shield from his W.
Now we will be expanding on that one. Ooh, hello.
Wow.
Martin,
Slow.
yeah, from the forehead. Well, we can see the compositions and also the lineups from both these teams. Use the hashtags, hashtag FNC win for Fnatic if you think they're going to take this one home up against Elements, which is hashtag EL win. And as the back of our heads, hello. Let's get into game.
Let's see what happens here. Really want to see what Gamsu is building up in the top, and maybe we've been fooled by solo queue.
Maybe.
Looking too much at all the different things. I've seen Nasa's top lane with the ZZ rod as well. It's being very scary.
Yeah, let's get into this one, Fnatic and Elements. But to touch on that one again, we tried that yesterday. You went for the Nasus. I wasn't sure if you actually put a pointing queue because you had like, what, 200 stacks, like 50 minutes?
You don't need stacks when you're last hit with E-Pulse. That's how you're supposed to play Nasus. Let's see what happens in this game. Should be better from Elements than my performance yesterday. And they are invading in early to try and get some deep vision to spot a potential lane swap. Probably gonna see the standard 3 wards being placed down here towards the gate and the tier 2 tower. That's second one and third one.
There we go. We will be talking more about wards tomorrow to all the common places. But let's see, Elements are now backing away. Now place one last ward before they back off.
I really like that ward from Fnatic. They saw the invade, so they placed a ward at the blue buff to see if Elements are staying around if they run out. To potentially see, okay, is there a chance they might swap down to bottom side because they're now running out of the jungle? It is harder to do. You gotta do it very quickly now because of the timing of the minions spawning so early. But Fnatic at least know, okay, Elements haven't stuck around that top side. And they can now basically try and guess because you see Elements are staying around mid lane, being like, okay, we want to see something before we do anything. Playing Ezreal Braum into Lucian Thresh is complete suicide. Like, that's impossible for you to really win that lane, or outside of maybe one all-in you can do. So I understand 100% why Elements are saying, let's lane swap. Let's not risk losing the game already in the laning phase.
Additionally, we did see the masteries being picked up, and once again, what a surprise. They're both running Strength for the Ages, so... Yeah, pretty much every jungler picking that up right now. Cly and Reckless heading in spot lane. What was that, Fisher? I talked over you.
I'm just saying, get that free HP pulse. It is worth it. The Thunderlords is outdated now for junglers.
It is 800 gold when fully stacked, and that's not even including the max health that you get back from camps or big minions after you've fully stacked it, so you have to value that one yourself. But a good way to compare it is to Windspeaker's Blessing, which at maximum potential with everyone level 18, and you hit everyone with a heal, has 2,500 gold worth of stats. And that's 800 on one champion. So
it's a very good scenario if you get the heal on everyone. Has to play like Alistar or Monsoon on a Janna. In one of these big team fights, it only lasts for 3 seconds. Strength of the Ages lasts for the entire game.
Yep. Mathematics.
I think we're selling it, you know, we're really selling it. Really hope junglers with solo queue will pick it up.
But wait, there's more. If you pick it up now, everyone's picking it up. Bottom lane.
Right, no surprise in terms of the lane swap. Both junglers have kind of divided the map between them. Everyone is fast pushing. This is what we see every time. So it's no longer about what happens on the first push. It's about what happens when the tower goes down. How the teams react to step number 2. Which player gets the gold. Normally you always want to see it on your top laner. Unless you play like an Ezreal, then you can actually share the gold to get tier on your back, which I believe Elements did up on top side. Actually, no, they didn't. Because they didn't even kill the tower.
Thank you, observers.
That is a big, big mistake. Like, this step should never go wrong. Like, you can practice this over and over and over and over. And this part is part of every single scrim these teams play. It's more once we get to like 20 minutes that teams start to maybe saying, let's take next scrim and so on if there's something going wrong and you don't practice late game shot calling. But this part you can practice every game. And that should never go wrong for Elements. They're now 1,000 gold behind already. Pushing in that one and not getting the tower.
They have lost so much tempo in this lane swap now. Yeah, as you mentioned, that was the first step, and Elements just kind of fell over. And now Steve can't even push that tower.
I mean, they didn't even manage to open the book.
Gone up there.
Not only didn't they read the book, they didn't even open the book in the first place.
They saw the cover.
That's step one.
You know what? I don't think we need to read this. But now, Steve is going to go into bot lane.
Well, the thing is, for Steve now, he can't stay top because he knows Spirit is now swapping to that side. Again, this is about playing around the strong side for each team, and obviously when you have the dual lane on one side, early on they are 2 members, so they're obviously going to be very strong, and therefore you put your support, also your jungler with them, meaning Steve can't stay and farm. He would get killed on the tower, forced away. So he has to go bot lane now. They have to try and trade for bot tower, but now the best case for Elements is they trade 1 tower for 1 tower. But they're still tower behind, because they didn't take the first one, obviously. So they just put themselves 1,000 gold behind. Let's see the tempo on this tower going down, because right now Elements are slightly behind still, and how fast they can kill tower. Meaning Gamsu will be able to pick up a little bit of extra farm once the tower dies here. Staying up on top, and man, not only didn't you get tower, that means no tier for your Ezreal on the first back. Such a poor start.
So, Deficio, in these scenarios where one team doesn't get the first tower and then you once again change up and you get the second one, so it's now 2-1, how do Fnatic now stay ahead and make another tempo play to continue staying ahead in this game? What do they do to capitalize?
I mean, you got 1,000 gold lead already, you've already capitalized. Like, you already gotten your advantage straight from this. And because Elements reacted quick enough and moved Steve bot lane, then he's not falling further behind in the CS or experience, so that's fine. You basically just lost 1,000 gold for nothing. That's the problem for Elements and the benefit Fnatic got. You keep seeing these wards in the lanes after towers go down. That's very smart, because you want to see where the other team is sending their dual lane, because they always want to move them around and deny the enemy top laner. It just means for Steve, he can see very quickly who's coming.
Yep.
Can I push out my wave, get extra CS? No, I have to back away. Okay, there's no risk then of Steve dying. You can see him run all the way to his tier 2 tower, even though Spirit and Cly are both chasing him technically. So had he stayed with no vision, he could have died right here.
Gilius has been spotted in the jungle. Now he's backing off, but already pressure being put down by Fnatic with the runs coming out. Also with Cly, so we're already seeing some synergy come in for Cly and Spirit. And
now, because you still have a tier 1 tower up top, you can invest everything on the other side, and you can push into enemy tier 2 tower, allowing you access into the enemy jungle. So that's your second benefit now. Not only did you get the gold, you now get free control of an enemy jungle, because you're just pushing this big wave up. Obviously, it was frozen by Elements after the tower went down. Nidalee is grouped with the AD carry. Steve taking a lot of damage.
Oh, the hook into the paw, and the last double tap with the ignite. Cly, welcome to the LCS. That's the first blood going over to you.
And again now, Fnatic can just make this play super safe. There's no chance of this going wrong, because Steve was sitting bot lane after the tower went down. Fnatic knows this. They can build up a big wave, and there's no TP pressure, obviously, because they're attacking the teleport player, which is Steve in this case. So you now get an easy tower here. Obviously, Elements should never been caught out under the tower. But now you have control in the enemy jungle, push up a big wave, you got tower advantage up top side, you get another tower advantage on bottom side. Elements is just falling flat on the face in this lane swap.
Yeah.
And Fnatic is just walking behind them, picking up all the gold they're dropping.
Yeah, they fell over and can't get back up, and it's just getting worse and worse. Elements, or rather Fnatic, that push was so confident for them. They could stay there, wait for the minions to die to tower, then finish off, recall, take 5 minutes on a coffee break, come back, pick up some items, and restart the game. It's ridiculous how far they pulled ahead.
So one of the really good things about Nidalee jungle, it was a pick that everyone hated coming into the split, because teams were using it as this like super snowball pick that had to get like an early kill to do anything. Teams have now figured out how to play with Nidalee, where it's more focused around having your super fast clear, and then grouping with your AD carry on towers. Heal him, give him attack speed, have your own range attack, and you can apply a lot of pressure early on these turrets. So by having Spirit coming in, the big wave, and because Elements had Mr. Riley sitting topside to try and get that tower, Malphite can't really do anything against the wave. There was no wave clear from Elements at all, or range poke. And Fnatic just used the big wave with Nidalee and the rest of the team to get another tower. So super good start by Fnatic. Super bad start by Elements.
Simple as that. Gilius did manage to pick up the Rift Herald, however, so that is a small win. Silver linings and all that. So he'll go back to base, have the extra movement speed, and 10% extra damage. Ike will be back in this mid lane. Funny thing about lane swaps, mid laners usually don't really do anything in them, so they sit mid lane. It's just like, oh, did we get ahead? Did we not get ahead? Well, I'll find out after it's finished.
And now Fnatic, because again they've been faster at taking down these turrets, can look for either try and pressure the mid tower, or they can start pushing up top side and get into the red side jungle of Elements and start pressuring that tier 2 tower up there. And then suddenly you have basically the map divided. You constantly have full pressure on one side. And the way it works in the current meta is once you lost your jungle, you can't really walk in there. So you have to mirror what the other team is doing. But because you're now towers behind, every time you make that trade, you never really gain anything because you're still behind.
Right.
Because you're still tower behind from the start. So it's just about how much can you pressure the lanes and the jungle. Fnatic now kind of slowing it down a little bit. Just letting Nautilus get all the farm up top. Is that a Banner command on the way from Gamsu?
Maybe.
I think it is.
The Aegis being picked up.
And the Alizar should lead into a ZZ Rod portal then, coming after. And then it's a split pushing Nautilus, who's very hard to kill. Impossible to kill for a Malphite, that's for sure. Who then also suddenly has pressure on your towers. Because he can buff off his own minion, and he can also put down a ZZ Rod with the Void Links.
Correct.
And Malphite can't do anything to stop these guys from killing his tower. And then suddenly you gotta send someone else to stop it, but there's no one else with a teleport. So you send someone with no teleport to that lane. Gamsu just TPs away and makes a play 5v4 on the other side of the map. And man, it can look fantastic.
That's what we call checkmate.
Let's see.
Man, I want to see this happen so badly.
I just want to see where they place the portal. Because like one thing is in solo queue where teams are placing it, and it's like, yes, in solo queue you can learn something, but in competitive it should be a lot more planned where to place the ZZ Rod portal. And also, when do you ban off command the minion? Like, which wave do you pick? Do you want to commit fully for tower? Do you just want to start a slow push? Because that's the other thing you can do with this build, is these minions will just slow push on its own, and you can make plays elsewhere on the map.
Banana? Nope. Gamsu's not hungry. But yeah, so in solo queue, sometimes you'll place it down at your tower if you're in the one-on-one. Of course, he doesn't have it in this game, but it means that your opponent laner cannot kill it because it's under the tower.
I actually think Fnatic is dropping the ball here.
There's no minion wave though.
This wave has been pushing in for a long, long time. This was Element's good lane to play around. So unless Fnatic can actually trade for this inhib, but the thing is, Elements can recall now. And Fnatic haven't even reached the tower yet, so they're way too slow with this play. I actually didn't like that at all. Because you had that wave coming in and it was slow pushing from Gamsu. So he was so far down towards his own tower that it was easy for Element to just move in 4 members and make the push. So unless they can get something mid here from Fnatic, they just lost out on that play.
Still, that was an inner turret, and this will be an outer turret if they kill Anchor as well.
They don't get the tower either.
No, that's cleared out by the fast bomb. The bottom tower was not even touched or scratched. Nope. They just pushed the minion wave in there and had to back into the jungle. They did get a little bit of vision there, but compared to a tower, Elements just evening this up a little. Even though it is 3-3 turrets in this game, Elements are still behind in terms of gold coming in from the lane CS. But still.
Fnatic just didn't respect the play that Elements could make there.
Yeah.
Kind of saying, oh, if they go top lane, we can like rush bot lane, but they were so far away from that inhib turret compared to where Elements would catch the wave on top side. So just a good play from Elements here. And that actually evens out the towers. Yeah. So at least tower-wise, that advantage is now even.
Well, it's like you were saying earlier, they need to make a play and then do one better to even up the game and then get ahead again by doing another play like that. But it all kind of rippled from that first tower. But now, this game is not looking quite as grim as it was a couple minutes ago.
Well, you're still very far behind when it comes to top lane farm. Ban-off command is completed.
Hey.
He's already used it on the first cannon minion and Fnatic. You can see them pinging on it on the minimap. So now that wave is going to constantly push against Malphite. If you can keep that 1v1 going, you will slowly but surely chip away damage on this tier 2 tower top, which is the whole objective of this build from Gamsu. And if he leaves the lane and Steve leaves the lane as well with the minion alive, the Ban-off command minion, that wave will keep pushing down on its own. At least get to the tower and get some damage, and then it will reset slowly. So let's see, Gamsu here, he's getting closer to the tower. Objective is keep the rest of Elements on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah. So So, oh, Featherman maybe caught out by Gilius. He's trying to make this play happen. The ward comes up, but maybe he's taken out by Featherman. Returning with the down, Ignite coming out. Spirit following up as well. Here comes the spear, lands onto Sprattle, and he goes Splattle. Now Spirit chasing after Gilius, looking for the takedown, doesn't quite get it, as Rallis is there to stop him, but they keep up the chase. Clyde is trying to close in, has the Dark Passage, will flash. The hook, it goes wide, but he gets the charm and the play regardless. There's another kill, Clyde setting up his team.
And that's Fnatic getting everything. We just talked about how the objective is keep the rest of Elements on the bottom side. Killing them wasn't even part of the plan. They might get Ike as well.
You can run, you can hide, but the ultimate from Gamsu will still find you.
They just got everything, and I just looked at my own screen. The top lane tier 2 tower with the Ban of Command minion is down to 50%. Sprattle,
man, complete
also
collapse.
50%.
Just comes back, and he's only level 5. We'll try and defend this turret, but this should be going down to Fnatic.
So, bottom lane here for Elements. They should know that the only play Fnatic is looking to make is just keep them there. And then they get surprised, they get jumped on. Gilius tried to make that big play we mentioned in Champs League he likes to do on Lee Sin, but Febiven just basically outplayed him on it. Very easy, just a quick dash, nothing else. And now they just completely caught out while we have the 1v1 top lane, and Elements just have to try and run away, but against Nidalee mobility, Ahri's chasing, impossible for Elements actually to escape at this point. And now they're just losing everything.
Yeah, and Clyde was just able to clean up here. He goes for the flash and the hook. Doesn't quite connect, but the way that Rallis had to move meant he was still in range for the play, which set up the charm. So the play was still good by Clyde.
Grabs the cloak.
Oh,
ZZ Rod hype!
60% there.
We kind of killed the hype because we talked so much about it already, but it's gonna happen.
We can revisit it when it's complete.
Yeah, we gotta look at where he puts the portal.
Yes, that is the most hype thing coming out here. Because remember, he has to keep it in range. If you actually haven't used ZZ Rock Portal, you want to place it down and look at your mini-map because it gives you an indicator of where it goes, how far the minions go, basically, if there's nothing interrupting them on the way. So you want to place it within range of a tower, so it reaches the tower and those little minions explode and you deal damage.
Yeah, remember that at the end of the range, the minions start losing HP. So the tower will actually one-shot them if they start losing HP before they reach the tower. So you need to have it close enough that the minion is on full HP when it reaches the tower, so it explodes on it instead of just dying in front of it. Yeah, we have to see. So Ban of Command is used again by Gamsu. I know we're just talking from minimap because we haven't actually seen him do it a single time. But he has put it on another cannon minion. Steve is kind of saying, I know what's about to happen. I can't stop it. And Fnatic can either group on it with Rift Herald now, so you have Ban of Command plus Rift Herald to push in on Steve, and look how slow Elements are reacting because they tried to take a dragon. They have no chance stopping this right now because now Rift Herald buff is gonna happen. Ban of Command minion. Steve is like, okay, what am I doing on this?
So good. Kind of fulfilling the theme of Nautilus where he's just like trudging towards you and nothing you can do about it. Down goes the tower. Here comes the package, and maybe closing on a Gamsu. Yeah, he's not getting out of this one. The spear will come in, just to put a little bit of damage back onto Ica. But Element will close in and take out Nautilus.
Steve got angry.
He did.
Right there, watching his tower die.
But Nautilus will be back, and so will Clyde. Another hook onto Sprattle. Another kill over to the team of Fnatic, and now they will try to capitalize and take this middle turret.
This is not cheese, by the way. This
is legit.
This is a strategy we've seen in solo queue quite a bit this week from a lot of different players, like solo queue players, LCS players in solo queue as well. And it's just so impactful if you're able to get your single 1v1 lane, or if your team is able to set you up in that 1v1 lane and then rotate to that lane once those minions and the portal soon completed is put in place, because it forces the other team to hard engage. It forces the other team to hard engage on you, or your tower is just gonna die.
It's also great because, unlike other split pushes, you can build it on a tank who is still useful in team fights as a front line, and then join the team fight anyway and still have the split pushing threat. So it's just so good on so many different fronts. But you can only build it into certain types of compositions. Like if someone's picked a Malphite, then it's just like prime ZZ.
Oh yeah, that's the perfect one. If they play Fiora on the other hand, who will just instantly destroy your portal and never let you push them into tower.
Useless.
It doesn't work that well. But you can use it again as a slow pusher. Just one of the items, just to constantly have a minion wave pushing for you, so you force the enemy team to have to react and defend that minion wave at some point and catch the farm. So now all outer turrets are gone. Gamsu is now looking towards inhib turrets. And he's here with his trusted cannon minion, buffed up by Ban of Command once again. Let's see how fast Steve... Oh, you do no damage because it's magic.
Yeah, unlucky. Now he has to drag it to the tower, and the tower will help him out.
And the minions. And he has to auto-attack it.
Look at that. Ridiculous. ZZ Rot. Kite.
Alright, let's see what happens elsewhere on the map.
Got it.
Because Steve
49 gold. Yes!
finally killed that one.
Yeah, you should clap and cheer for that one.
Problem is the rest of Fnatic is also winning,
Yeah.
by the way. So like this is obviously just a super snowballing match for Fnatic. And the highlight is just watching a split pushing Nautilus with Ban of Command and ZZ Rock.
Alright, we're going to see it be placed down. So if you don't want it to be killed, you want to place it near the tower. But since there is no tower there, then he's going to have to place it further up and try and defend it.
Well, yeah, you just want to time it with your own minion wave arriving so that the first Voidling, preferably, because this one, this special one, every 4th Voidling and the first one have this special where they do 15% of your max HP and extra damage. So like these won't reach the tower because they're going to die like before. Or get one-shot by the tower itself. Blop.
Blop. That's what a Voidling sounds like when it dies, by the way.
It is going to slow push though, constantly, like the small Voidlings will deal damage. And if they kill someone, you get the gold.
Whoa.
And the CC Rod commercials, that is going crazy.
Value. If you buy now, then you will get all the gold from these minions. I actually think if there's no minions in the way, those will reach the tower. No,
the tower will one-shot them before they deal damage.
But they become vulnerable as they walk up to the tower and there's nothing else there. They have this little grace period. So we'll see, because it's kind of on the fringe, so one of it could be right.
Pretty sure I tested it yesterday and they won't deal any damage,
We'll see.
sadly. I don't think it's going to happen because Steve is going to sit bot lane and try and play it out. But he's going to have to find the portal. So he's going to find it in here now. Then he has to kill the portal, which takes the same amount of time it takes to kill their Ban of Command minion, because now he's on it.
This is actually just even worse.
There we go.
Oh.
And then you just combine the two.
Right hook, left hook, right hook.
This is the most exciting game
Get him,
ever
Gamsu!
played.
Get him off the ZZ Rot! Yeah! Living, we living. Look, there's a super one. Gamsu hasn't got that much health at the moment because he went banner first.
Oh, he doesn't want a team
item,
fight.
He'll want to go for a bigger health item, which will buff up those minions as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's the downside, obviously. Yes, you are a tank, and ZZ Rod is actually their second best MR item in terms of pure stats because it gets 60 MR. So it is a strong tank item in that sense, but doesn't give an active you can use in a team fight, and doesn't give any HP either. So he's fairly squishy with this build in a way, even though he is a big tank. That's just something you gotta keep in mind. He's obviously not as squishy as an AD carry or anything, and he can tank up something, but you're not built for team fights. You're built for being annoying in a side lane.
Not a lot has happened on the rest of the map, I've got to be honest, while all those ZZ Rot shenanigans were going on. However, now Baron is being started by Fnatic, and Featherman is there over the wall. Spirit is going to be going in on this one. That was blue trinketed, but we do have Featherman playing a goalkeeper here. Now the TP comes in from Steve, so got to respect the unstoppable ultimate.
There's actually no reason for Fnatic to make this play at all. You need Gamsu just to sit in that bot lane. And you need Elements to send someone else to defend it, and then you can go for Baron after. Now this actually just allowed Elements to make a play themselves. They have Steve now with the team. Got a bit of mid lane damage as well, or mid tower damage. So Gamsu, back into your lane. You have TP as well. There's no need to go walk in with your team and start a Baron. A little bit too early for Fnatic.
You couldn't see that, but Fisher was gesturing towards the bottom lane, shoving.
Trying to wave him down there to the bottom lane. There you go. It worked. It worked.
Okay. He's also going towards Sunfire Cape, so even more pushing potential. Also gives you extra HP. So fantastic. Look at the synergy. Featherman back in the top lane, also split pushing. This is also good because who's going to duel Featherman? No one.
Overall, the Elements composition was a little bit strange in the pick and ban phase. Like blind picking the Malphite before you had seen the last two picks from Fnatic. I don't feel is very good. Even though Fiora was banned, who's normally doing really well against him in lane. Anyway, we got our boy Gamsu in the bottom lane, Featherman in the top lane. Doesn't have the same crazy beautiful style that Gamsu is going to bring. Ban of Command is soon ready, and that this cannon is the chosen one.
There we go. Unless he's buffed by Baron, we can't name him.
Let's see if he puts the portal the same place he does. Okay.
Yes.
And now he's probably gonna leave because Steve has no
Look how
teleport.
much damage this minion does, by the way.
Yeah,
What's
so
this?
what you want to do now,
Bam.
if you look what Gamsu's doing on the minimap, Steve has no TP, so he's dragging Steve away from the lane, saying, I'm going to force a fight. Like, you have to be with your team now, because I'm going to force a team fight. I'm Nautilus, I can just click ulti on someone. So now this bot lane with the CZ Rod is just going to continue pushing into the lane and a ban of command minion, and Steve can't defend. Nobody can defend this one on bot side. It's just being forced by the items.
But someone has to go, because it will erode the tower, because minions, when they explode, they do actually a bunch of damage.
Or
money.
Elements will have to force a team fight. They have Malphite ulti and say, like, the way we can break this is not by constantly...
Hey!
Yeah, but the tower didn't hit it. That's not the point.
Oh.
The tower is supposed to hit it before it explodes, but because there's minions, it works, obviously, for it.
Alright.
It's because tower didn't hit it.
Oh, Gilius! Clive finds him and the team tries to capitalize, and Sprattle will be giving his life for Gilius. He jumps over the wall, but he's gonna go down. Fervin, what a charm onto Ica. Steve jumps in, he gets one, he's looking for more. Everyone from Fnatic, this is actually going sideways, and Rylan and Gilius may be able to finish off Fervin. Not quite enough, he'll cut away with the Foxfires. There's the shutdown over the Spirit, and 3 members remaining for Fnatic, 2 for 5 overall.
And there's the play Fnatic tried to do before, without setting up the bottom lane. Now they did it correct. Set up bot lane with Banner Command and ZZ Rod. Force Steve to go defend. Rush the Baron. Force the team fight. Steve came in so late. He used his ulti when one member of his team was already dead. That's how you want to play. This tower as well, by the way, on bottom side is on 40% HP.
From just ZZ Rot and Banner. I actually think it's a little low, but we'll have to... Oh! Yeah.
30%.
Yeah. 29%.
So,
alright.
Minimap right here. Steve is running from the bottom lane. He's the guy needed in the start of this fight. And then say Radish is doing the same. So Fnatic's making the right play. You force the Baron not to take the Baron, but to get a team fight. And as soon as the fight is on, Reckless does go down, but it's clean up from here on and out from Fnatic. Actually became a little bit of a messy fight.
Yeah, towards the end there, Fnatic maybe going down, but Fervin got all of his damage off, another rotation came up. Steve having some fun in the bot lane.
So we have now learned stuff about ZZ Rod. If the minion is about to die but gets close to the tower, and it doesn't get hit by the tower, it will explode and deal the damage. That's why he places it down here in the bush, because it is close enough to get the explosion and also pushed away as long as there's minions with it. If there's no minions, the Voidling will walk down, be low HP, the tower will one-shot it, and it won't deal the damage. Which we're gonna see now. Look at this beautiful little minion. No. Probably the back one. Actually, no, don't kill Steve.
He doesn't get gold for that, by the way, so there's just no value. It's just all bad. Did we see a banner? No. So Gamsu is still waiting on his banner.
You can do it now.
Waiting for a cannon.
Oh, it's one cannon?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Alright, so he's going to stay here for a little bit. He has teleport. There's a pink ward in that bush, so if he decides to go in there and teleport out, they'll be able to see him to potentially stop him. Yeah, Steve's going to try and clear, but he is Malphite, and this is a cannon that has been buffed.
Yeah, no, Steve again needs help in this bottom lane. He might just try and keep the cannon there, just stand there and like wait for his minion wave every time to show up and let them DPS it down.
This is the most frustrating thing to play against, by the way. Like, there's nothing you can do about it.
Good thing is he has teleport now, so you can actually sit bot lane and then hopefully kill the ban of command minion and then TP away. So for Fnatic, again, you want to set up the play. And when there is TP, you want to do it as soon as the ban of command minion pushes far enough up. Then you want to make the play, because if the heat TPs away, the ban of command minion is still alive and can push in on tower.
Cool shot. Has revealed it. Gideus jumps in. Can he get the steal? Gonna go with no. Sprattle pops his ultimate. Now we'll be going down to Spirit, who smites it. And that is Baron going over to Fnatic. And is the first one of the game. 1 out of 1, 100%. Hashtag mathematics. 11 kills in this one, and now they'll be pushing up the top lane. Just need to take down those other 2 inhibitor towers. But since they've already taken the mid lane one, it should be a fairly easy push. And of course, bot is still pushing. So Elements is constantly on the back foot.
So have the small voidings from the portal, constantly spawning, pushing in that wave. It's never going to push back for Elements, because there's so many extra minions always coming in. Even though they only deal a little bit of damage on the minions, it's enough to always turn it in their favor.
Oh, Sprattle's there. He's got you, buddy. But I'm not sure he can protect the tower. That is a big minion wave stacking in the bottom lane.
And as soon as it hits the tower, the voidings will start exploding on the tower.
Steve
Steve has to engage, basically.
He's being pulled in, he's getting CC'd up, he has unstoppable force, he just needs a place to use it. Gamsu is still quite tanky, there's another hook onto the Malphite. He gets the ultimate off, but maybe a little too late. Gillis is in there, but now Featherman is just going massive, and that was not the right way to kick him. There is a double kill going over to Reckless's Lucian, and Spratter will also go down. That's a 5-4-1, and Fnatic will close in for that win.
Fnatic won the lane swap, had the strategy prepared, and Elements barely even showed up.
What a clean game by Fnatic. Slow, methodical, and leveraging that ZZ Rock portal and coming for the win up against Elements. What a game by Fnatic.
And this is what we see in Europe at the moment. We have a very clear top 6, and we have a very clear bottom 4. And looking at the last few weeks, let's just take last week as an example. There was no upsets between the bottom 4 teams beating the top 6 teams. That didn't happen. It was close because Fnatic and Rocket were so close. But in the end, the top 6 teams won all the games.
1, 2, 3.
Fnatic!
Fnatic just coming out there. A solid win. It was really strong, and one of the best ways to play this current meta is just really